What's going on, people? Welcome to the Morning View, 7th of March. It is Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. Let us know how you're feeling. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and all of that good stuff. Straight off the bat, 250 likes. Mark has been set. You know what it is by now, guys. Joe Blackman says it right there. Drop a like quick before they get here. That was just before we even went live, actually. So big up to everyone. Joe Blackman says we did it. Because I think he set a little mini target as well. So big up to you guys. Big up to everyone in the chat. There's members in there. There's mods in there. There is people who are not members. Just people who have just pulled up. Could be for the first time. And in fact, I'm going to start with you guys. Joe H says, I'm not Erik Ten Hag out, but I wouldn't be mad with De Zerbi or Nagelsmann. Amir says, yes, morning UV. Let's go. Big up the team and chat. Crafty Skill says, good morning, UV family. Julio says, Bruno Martial, McTominay, Maguire, Anthony, Rashford, Casemiro, Sancho, Lindelof, Erikson, Wan-Bissaka, all out. Wow. As you can see, yes, INEOS's squad clear out. That is what we're going to be talking about today. That is what we're going to be getting into. There's a big piece by Samuel Luckhurst in the Manchester Evening News sort of doing the same thing. So we thought we would do the same. I remember, I think it was last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago, somebody suggested in the chat, can you do sort of like a sell list or a squad refresh list? And so we thought now is the best time to do it as well. KG did one in the Flexing KG show. If you haven't seen that, check it out. He made some really good points in that Flexing KG show actually as well. KG did. We've got some smaller snippets coming out from that later on. But yes, Owen, this is a squad clear out, INEOS player exits, how many leave, and all of that jazz.
Yes, this is very interesting. So Samuel Luckhurst has written a piece for the Manchester Evening News, and he's gone through the potential exits this summer. And what I must say I have enjoyed reading through it this morning is when he, and you'll see this because I've got these ready for you guys. When he talks about every player, he does his like own sort of scathing paragraph on all of them. And some of them are positively brutal. Like some of them are absolutely brutal. So what we're going to do this morning, we're just going to go through. We're going to go through these players. You can get involved in the chat and you can say, keep, sell, I don't know, I don't care, because there's a lot. He's listed 21 possible exits this summer. There could be a huge clear out. There might not be a huge clear out, but let's get straight into it, Flex. The first one, I think, is a bit of a layup because we're going to start off with Tom Heaton. He has said Heaton has missed the last few games with a niggle, but has now resumed training. The goalkeeper turns 38 in April and is out of contract in June, though United retained Lee Grant into his 40th year. So, Tom Heaton, are we going to keep him? We're going to sell him? What say you?
Well, he'll be out of contract, won't he? So he'll just be going a free. But
would you let him go on a free, or would you keep him just go, look, he's third goalkeeper,
you know
he doesn't play,
keep
him around the club?
I'd keep him around. I'd give him a, because once he goes, we're going to need to sign a young or whoever is a third keeper. And third keeper, let's be real, and no disrespect to Tom if he's watching, they need to be older, don't they? They need to be at a stage of their career whereby they're like, you know what? I don't need to play every week. My job is to sort of keep the lads on their toes, keep the training standards high. And if there's an injury crisis, and it would have to be a crisis, I might have to come in. But I ain't gonna play. I'm at the latter years of my because what you don't want is to sign a younger keeper who starts then agitating and gets when am I gonna play? And then you just got to loan them out. You need a third keeper. You have to have one, and you need one who's going to understand that is what they're there to do, which is to basically keep the first and second goalkeeper on their toes. So I would just give him a new deal. I agree.
I'd give him an extra year. I'd do City. I think is a good example with Scott Carson. Barely ever plays, but he's good for around the place. You know,
he's still there, isn't it?
Still there, good around for the place. You know what I mean? I think it would be a bit. I think it'd be a bit like that.
Keith Thomas says release red card, but I'm like, why? You know,
he's not. It's just
disagree. Flex says said he. I don't know. Saidi, sorry. Why would you do? I don't know what you want. Would you want a better third keeper? But anyway, let's get to Wan-Bissaka. Tom Heaton is not.
It's not the crux of it. That's just
No.
where the article started.
Yeah.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, this is an interesting one. Wan-Bissaka is still sidelined with a leg problem, and he has missed 17 games this season through injury already. His contract runs out next year, and if United offered him a new contract, one would have to check if they had rehired Ed Woodward. This is what I mean. This is like United require an upgrade at right back, and selling Wan-Bissaka would give them the leverage and some funds to do so. Flex, Wan-Bissaka in the summer. You're keeping him, you're selling him. He's got a year left.
Wamby, I love Wamby, man. Love that guy. I think he's so sick. I think he's a wicked guy. But it's time. It's time. And it's time for him as well. He's been at United since 19. Was it 80? When did we get him?
2019. I thought you meant 19 years old.
No.
I was going to say. 2019.
2019. So he's done what? 5 years at United. Put that on your CV. You've played at relatively the top level. Played in the Champions League. You've had some big, memorable moments. Locking down Mbappe and playing against top draw players. But it would be time. And I think more so, apart from the Ed Woodward bit, the bit that he says in the second paragraph is that we require an upgrade, and Wan-Bissaka would give us the leverage and some funds to do so. It's I think it's time for Wamby, man, because you could get, I'd say, because we bought him for 50, you could get 25 for Wan-Bissaka, but he's in the last year of his deal, so 20 to 25.
Contract, maybe 20, might even be a 15. It might be low, what I mean?
15 to 20 because he's the last year, but you got to sell him for that money.
Yeah, I think you got to sell him because, again, when you're in the year left, you have to make a decision, right? Do we want to keep him for the long term? Do we want to keep, because you got to give him if you're going to keep him, new contract, you're saying, you're going to keep him for the next, when contracts are like 4 or 5 years, do you want to keep Wan-Bissaka for 4 or 5 years, or do you want to cash in? You're going to cash in.
You've got to cash in because you also can't just let him just wander around and then it gets to January and then before you know it, it's got 6 months left and then we're letting players go for free again. That's the whole point of changing what we're doing. We have to be in control now.
Exactly. And I would say in the chats, the majority are saying sell Wan-Bissaka. There are a couple in there that say keep him. But I think
general consensus, I think the stat is saying
okay, let's move on. Next one, Rafael Varan. Yes. Varan's contract expires in the summer. He turns 31 in April, and he has had more separate injury and illness issues than any teammate this season.
Oh, stop saying it like that.
I told you these paragraphs are brutal. He has been a near ever present of late, though starting in 13 of the last 15 games and only missing once through those illnesses. So he's basically saying he's had more injuries and illnesses than any other teammate, but he's been playing a lot recently.
Yeah.
United elected not to trigger the extension in Varan's deal as they no longer believe his squad status reflects his salary. Varan took a dim view of how Erik ten Hag managed him earlier in the season. Keep, or do we let him go on a free? Because it's not even sell. It's
no.
Or release, isn't it?
So, or they could offer him a new deal.
Well,
keep. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, my bad. It's because it's the Ghost of Wraith. It frazzles my brain. It's my favorite. I don't like talking about this one, but in the like Mac says, flex, stop the bias, and Mac is right. MAK is right. Right. Here's the thing with the Ghost of Wraith, the Phantom. I'm going to say what I've said many a time, just because he's my favorite. If I would like him to stay because he's still good, right, in the squad. But if he can't accept the pay cut to reflect what we need it to be in line with, because we've got a lot to fix in the summer with all these centre backs. We're going to get to a lot more. There's a lot to do. There's actually a lot to do in the centre back department. So if you keep Rafa, it needs to be on lower terms so it fits in with a new wage structure. If he's like, listen, I'm 30. How old is he?
31. 31 in April.
32. I'm 31. So I'm 31 next month. I believe I can go and play every game in, game out, and still be on like top money because I'm Rafa. Then, Rafa, you got my blessing. Go and spread your wings, bro. Go and get your P's. You've deserved to not dictate, because obviously I'm not saying dictate and stay at us, but you deserve to basically say, I want the bag, or I want to do what I want to do. You've completed football, mate. So I would like him to stay, but it needs to be on reduced terms. If they can't agree a deal for reduced terms, just let him go.
I think he'll go.
Yeah.
I think he'll go in the summer. It feels David De Gea-ish in the sense of someone's on a big wage and there's like, well, maybe he'll stay on reduced terms. But I think this is the thing. I think Varan will have a good point when he'll say, well, I don't want to reduce my terms. I've been playing a lot recently, and it's not as if he hasn't been playing well. You know, people were very highly praising him in the Manchester derby at the weekend, going, well, at the first half, you know, backs against the wall. He was brilliant.
Knows how to defend properly, man.
And
he's still our best defender.
He's still a great defender, but it's consistency and it's money. And they're the two things, isn't it? Yeah. It's consistency and it's money. And he could, this is the thing with Varan, yeah? He probably will, actually. If, let's say, he went back to Real Madrid, he'd do very well. He would do, because he doesn't need to play every game there. At United, we need our centre-backs to play every game, and he can't do that.
But if you manage him well, like I said, he's on a good run at the minute.
Yeah,
it's only going to get worse as he gets older. Like, we can't. I'm not just going to, you know, think, oh, he's played the last 13 out of 15 or whatever it is. Yeah, you know, that is good, but it's going to get.
And people do the comparison. I was just thinking it. I've just seen it in the chat here from Chris. Says, you keep Lindelof and Maguire and let Varan go. What are we doing? And people start doing the comparison, doesn't it? Because they're different situations. Harry Maguire's got, 2 years left in his contract. Victor Lindelof's got 1 year left on his contract. Yeah. So it's not a case of like, oh, I'm saying right now, Flex, Raphael Varan, he's not as good as Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. They're way better than the ghosts of the Rafe. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a more pressing issue. That's what it is. The timeline is more pressing. We have to make a decision now. It's the same way that people go with Sofian Amrabat going, well, you're saying don't judge Mason Mount after 1 season. Why are you judging Amrabat after 1 season? Because he's here for 1 season. Okay, that's why. You have to make those decisions, okay? Sometimes the time frame kind of forces you in that direction. So I think he goes. And even if they came out and they went, oh, he signed a new contract for reduced terms, I think that's probably the most surprising scenario for me. I really can't see that happening.
Yeah, reduce your
I'd be really surprised.
And also we're going a different. Do you know what it does depend on though? It does depend on as well. Obviously, it all depends on Rafa because you might just say no. But also, it does depend on how much other movement we're going to do with the centre backs. Because if you sell Harry Maguire because there's still money, which we're going to get to, you're going to bring in someone young and who fits the profile. If you sell Lindelof, which is very likely because I think he should go, and you get someone young and up and coming, that changes the dynamic. If you let Johnny Evans go because it's just it's free, or just let him leave or whatever, you need another one. So it depends how much we let go. It does depend on a lot, but yeah, let him go if we can't. If we can't agree, smaller terms.
Let's move on. Let's talk about another centre-back, Victor Lindelof. Lindelof is in the same boat as Wan-Bissaka. His contract was extended by a year, effectively to sell him, which is true. The difference is Lindelof has been prominent of late, and this seems certain to be another season where he gets a reasonable quota of games despite the competition. But United either have to cash in or keep Lindelof. Is approaching his 7th anniversary at United, and useful squad player though he is, it does not necessarily merit a new deal. Now, this is an interesting one, Flex, because I think, like you said, I think it depends on how much activity United have at centre-back this summer, because there might be a situation where they go, right, we're probably getting rid of Varan, or Varan's leaving. Okay, Maguire, do we cash in on him? Do we try and cash in on Maguire and then to go, well, Lindelof might have to go for a free next year because we can't get someone else? Like, I mean, if in an ideal world, he would be sold this summer. You cash in. You're not going to get that much for him.
No. You get like a light 12 million or something.
I mean, look, he's played in the Premier League for a while. How old is he? I think he's like 29, something like that. Around that age. He's captain of Sweden, so he's got pedigree. And he'd go to, that'd be European clubs interested. You could easily see, oh, Atletico Madrid, go get Victor Lindelof. You could see that. Absolutely.
Yeah, Villarreal, like that. Valencia,
or whatever. Or even go, Juventus, they've just got Victor Lindelof. You could see him, going, oh,
yeah,
they'll get him.
Mate, if Eric Dyer can go to Bayern Munich, mate.
Anything's possible.
Exactly.
Anything's possible.
He can go and play in Spain. He could go back to Portugal. He can play in Italy. He could get another Premier League club. I don't know where that would be though, to be fair. But he can play. But no, I think his time at our clubs come to an end. He is I don't give him as much slack as other people do. That I think when you play him in his position, I think he's a good steady Eddie to just come in and just fill in, and he always manages to get enough games doing that. Apart from when it's been like Lindelof Maguire settings for like when they're like number 1 and number 2. But no, like I said, we've given him a new deal. in order to look to sell him. So I think you have to do it now in the summer. Do you know what I mean? The sell-on value is not there after that. So I think you put Lindelof out and see who wants to take the bait, really. And I think you'll find that a lot of teams on the continent definitely would.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying like, oh, you have to cash in now. You got to take the bait. But it might be a case of what we're saying with potentially 3 centre backs could go this summer. They might have to. We've got to keep one, and we can get more value in selling Maguire, and we can get more value in letting Varan go on.
I think they would keep Johnny. I think they'd give Johnny Evans another year if they could sell Lindelof, and then Maguire gets sold as well, and Varan leaves. Then we have to bring in 2 centre backs. Yeah, we have to buy. I think we're going to have to buy 2 centre backs, surely.
It's going to be real again. It's a centre back position. Our whole defence,
the whole thing
for a defence that like a year ago we're going to really settle back forward.
It's all going to be dismantled apart from Leacher.
Well, there's Leacher, there's Dallo, and it's like
Dallo,
but the rest, it's kind of like it's anyone's guess as to what's going to happen.
And that's why we might have to, like you said, one of them might have to stay, whether it's Evans or Lindelof. Or maybe the low-cost ones will have to stay, and the ones they can fetch the most money for will have to go.
Exactly, which is where Lindelof might fall in, where it's actually, he's the cheapest one to keep for now, and we let him go on a free, and then we get rid of Varan and Maguire. Maybe that's what they do.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one.
Yes, but sell for me. Also, we're over 1,000 people watching live. Let's get the likes up. We're at 184, which is really good for this early in the show. 1,000 people watching for this early in the show is really good. But just over 15 minutes into the show, let's get to that magic 250 and then push. I feel like we've got a good bit of momentum going. Super chats coming in, which I'm going to get to in 2 seconds. I'm going to read out some of the comments here in the chat. Hollywood KG says Lindy is chips with no dips. Lil Yoya says he's a roast dinner with no gravy. Wow, harsh. Show says people are saying keep Lindelof and Evans, then wonder why the club is finished. Again, Show, like we can't undo everything. We're not saying keep them because they're good and they're going to help us close the gap to City. We're talking about FFP, PSR, and how the club would have to navigate through that if we want to go and get the guys who actually will start to actually, close the gap. Chris says, hold on. Minna says, Show, you're such a negative Nancy. Yes, exactly, Minna. Tell him. John James says, jerk chicken made of corn. That's ridiculous. That's so rude. And Super Chats Tabra says, we have to be realistic. Clear out will take 4 to 5 windows. We won't sell more than 7 players in the summer. INEOS need to prioritize who needs going first. Agreed. And Scar says, if we sell our best like Casemiro and Varan, you realize we're looking at another 5-year plan to get back to the top. Fans don't have patience for that. Well, we have to, because players like Casemiro and Varan, like if we keep them for long periods, I just don't see how we do close the gap. Danny says, guys, sorry to interrupt your garage sale here, but just thought I would say how much I'm enjoying the UV membership extra content. Been watching them all week. I nearly lost it when Fleck thought C3PO was Bender from Futurama.
It's an old video. I remember that's one of the first member things we did was it Guess? Was it what did we call it?
Who are these people?
It was like Guess Who or something like that. And we got a load of Star Wars characters and on the big screen, and Flex had to guess them all. And some of them are a complete madness. Like some of the things Flex says, it's crazy. I can't remember what answer it is. There's an answer in there that you said it, and there's like a pause, and I just started barreling over laughing because I just couldn't believe it. That's like
because I don't know these people, man. But some of them I got right, and are like, oh, well done.
We got to do a version of like, I don't know, dance hall artists or something like that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Just won't know any, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, as Danny says, you can join the UV membership. As he says there, he has a great time. There's loads of videos on there, and they keep coming out as well. You get exclusive access to Match Day Live, Match View, full-time view at the end of matches. You can call in and have your say live as well. So many perks. You get your emojis and your badges in the chat, your priority chat. So much exclusive stuff. So the UV membership is there for you to get involved with if you would like.
Yes, we've still got so many players to get through.
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep it moving.
Speed.
Do we need to keep it on this where we're little, or do we cut between the two?
We can cut.
Yeah.
Johnny Evans. He's overachieved to have played for United so frequently as he has this season. He has had some good performances. As Samuel Lucas says, it would be radical of United to initiate a mass exodus at centre-half, and Evans is low risk. If he's not retained, he could retire. You said earlier on you'd give him an extra year.
Yeah. If it just depends what's going on, because he shouldn't really be there. He shouldn't really be there. But he's an easy one that, like, I tell you what, we can just have an extra body because we're trying to sort all this shit out. If we didn't have so much to sort out, I'll say thank you, Johnny. Listen, we're up in the levels, but he's been a really good servant. But it's all good saying he has to go, Fleck. Enzo said he has to go. But I'm fine with him going. I'm not saying, oh my God, we must keep him because of how good he's been. I'm not saying that. I'm more just thinking of PSR, FFP. I'm just like, if he goes, are we going to leave ourselves short? And do we have money to go and actually get somebody proper?
Well, you do have to consider, though, Flex. We can sort of go, look, he came in and we were like, that he's not going to play. Don't worry. He's again, Tom Heaton earlier on. It's good to keep around the place. He's been playing, right? Mm. And also, I've been one of his biggest cheerleaders recently. I want him to play at the moment. When he's been one of our best defenders. He's been our second best signing of the season behind Rasmus Højlund. But you go, but have we got away with it? He shouldn't be. Like, he shouldn't be like.
But he's still not going to start. There's still going to be a new starting centre back.
That's true. If I'd give him you know what? I'd give him a year if the plan was what it was meant to be this year, where it's like he plays maybe once or twice in a season. He's just good to have around the place.
But he's actually better than that. Like, he can play
I know,
in the league.
But the intention of when we signed Johnny Evans was not for him to play. How many games has he played? Like 15, 16 games a season. That was never the plan, ever. But to give Ten Hag credit, you know, when he was training with United and then Erik ten Hag looks around and goes, hey, give him a contract. I can see why. I can see absolutely why he said it, because he saw him passing the ball in comparison to the other players. He went, oh, my God.
Also, Owen, someone just said in the chat, just let Evans go and just promote Willy Kambwala. Like, you know, let him be that guy. Just let him be. He's there already. He's a kid. He's young. So he's not going to expect to play every game. Just let Willy Kambwala be the fourth choice. I forgot about that because we still haven't had a proper look at him at centre-back. Poor kid's had to come in and play right back sometimes and played all right against West Ham when he got his debut. You know.
But I'm just still saying, Johnny Evans at 36, soon to be 37.
Experience, good around the place.
But he can do things. He can still do things that other players can't actually do at this club.
Yeah.
Which is alarming, you know. And maybe it depends on the recruitment in the summer. If they get some centre-backs in that are...
So, I mean, then you probably won't need him.
Once we're like 3 or 4, you know,
but here's the thing,
down
Owen.
The line.
How about this one? I don't see there's a situation where Johnny Evans is detrimental to be at Man United.
No, I don't.
He's low cost. He's got experience. Yeah. He's going to bring a calm head around younger players who we're going to actually look to bring in, by the way. If you bring in a Todibo or you bring in the next, you know, young Varan, they need to learn off some players.
This is what I don't get. So John Jameson here says, people say Varan is old at 31. Yeah, but Johnny Evans is not on £340,000 a week.
And if Varan wants to drop down to what Johnny Evans is on, give him a 4-year deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give him a 4-year deal, mate.
This is what I mean sometimes with the comparisons. The comparisons that people make are
just wrong.
They're not accurate. That's the thing too. So what are we saying? Are you saying keep?
I'm giving him another year.
I agree. I'd give him another year. Yeah. I would. Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire, he's not out of the woods at United. His England place is secure, though, because he's been playing a lot this season as well. He has played well this season. At a point, people were saying he was our player of the season for a while, and then he's kind of dropped back out of the team a little bit recently. He been excellent at Aston Villa, but then he struggled, and he's gone actually against Fulham. But recently, he's had a couple of games where he hasn't played very well. He was hooked at half-time against Luton, and actually got run past, didn't he, for Luton, for Fulham's win at Old Trafford. Keep or sell?
We have to sell him.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to sell him.
That was the time.
Yeah,
we've raised his price.
Or he might have been able to, with a year left, make the price stay the same as what it was last year because he's just counteracted that he's still good. Listen, do you know what? Yeah, though, honestly, I got a lot of respect for Maguire. I do. Forget like the buffoon, like, oh, look, he's not Man United level, our worst captain ever, and all them things he's had to go through. He shouldn't have stayed this year. I would have sold him. I thought we should have taken the money. But the fact that he ended up staying, waited his chance, and then when he has played this season, he's been fine. You know, he has shown like mental strength, like getting ridiculed and like memed, and yes, some bits he caused by himself by doing that, and you know the Greece thing. But over and all, if we're being honest, what he was subject to was just like, I'm not saying it's Beckham level, like, because I'm not saying he's the first player to ever get it, but in this current squad, he's been the one. He's been, and you know what? I'm going to be a little bit biased. I've been in and around Harry quite a few times where the awkwardness of like, you know, when he was captain and you're in and around the players, and it's like, oh man, I feel sorry. It's like, he's just not, he isn't it. He's not the main guy. It's Bruno is, you know, but every time, and this is just on a personal, every time I've seen him, and Josh picks up on it, he just always wants to talk to us and just like be sound. Like, he's just a good guy. He is. That's not, so you're saying just because, you know, he said hello to you, he should stay flex. No, we should sell him.
I was going to say,
I'm just giving him his props. Just giving him
with that
props.
said, Sal, it's now's the time. 100%. The time was probably last summer. He stayed. He's played well. Good for him. I suppose the one positive of him staying this extra year is I do think it's kind of softened the blow in terms of the animosity towards him.
Yes,
from some United fans.
It actually go out on a little bit of a high.
Well, yeah, I mean, and not just like the devastating, because I think now even when he plays for England, there's not that. You know, there was a point even when he was playing for England, it was like, oh, the fuck's Harry Maguire doing here and all that.
Yeah.
That's not really the case now. So now's the time for him to go. He's had a half decent season in one of our worst seasons. He'll go to the Euros. He'll play.
He'll play
now's
well
the time.
in the Euros.
Now's the time. So cash in on Harry Maguire.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the Euros, by the way. Just with our young.
I've not allowed my head. I've not allowed my head to go there. I saw enough Gareth Southgate stuff yesterday. I don't want to.
No, but just look at, I don't want to. He's cooking
Gareth Southgate.
Mate, when we get to the Euros, I'm going to be on to you. Mate, flipping lighten up a little bit. Anyway,
I will. Casemiro. I'll be here. I'll be doing the watch alongs and stuff like that. I'll be like Qatar all over again. Panenka. I've got to get in good shape for it. Casemiro. Now, Saudi Pro League clubs have expressed an interest in Casemiro. United would be foolish to ignore an acceptable offer for the 32-year-old. Samuel Luckhurst says, old father time, not just father time, old father time, has caught up with Casemiro this season, and he was sidelined for the best part of 3 months with a hamstring problem. His form has largely mirrored his performances pre-injury, and he was fortunate not to be expelled at Luton.
So
expelled at Luton sent off against Luton last month. Casemiro, keep or sell?
Yeah, we shouldn't be actively looking to keep him. And this is no disrespect. Listen, top player in his time. But the way we want to move forward, the way we want to play football, the money that he's on, it's only going to get worse the longer he stays financially. If Saudi are a lot of people's out. They're a lot of people's get out. You know, they were last summer. When it comes to this, not so much in the January window that their quota was full, but when it gets to this summer, they're going to look to redo their quota again and get attractive players and go again. They want to build that league. It's got some negative press this year of some players leaving and some of the attendances. They want to change that. They want to get more big names. So I think they will be interested in him. And if they do come in and it's less about the fee that you'd get for him, because it probably won't be a lot, but they do pay decent money, like 20 million, you know. But it's less about that and more about this guy's got 3 years left at 360 grand a week or whatever it is.
We'll pick it
up.
That's a
big problem.
We'll pick it up. Yeah.
To get that off, that's like signing 2 new players.
Yeah.
You know
I agree. I think reportedly there was interest last summer. Like you said, I think there'll be interest this summer. And if an offer comes that's acceptable, as Samuel Luckhurst says, I don't know how much the fee would be. Like you say, the Saudi clubs tend to pay huge money. It depends on the player, obviously. Like for Neymar, and look, they might go again for Salah this summer, which is going to be really interesting with that because they put a lot of money down for him. Casemiro, not so much. But like you said, it's more the wages. Casemiro won't be asking for any extra money. It would be his contract paid off if he's going to be walking into significantly more money at a Saudi club. So yes, I agree. I think now would be the time to cash in on him. And once again, like Varan, doesn't mean he's rubbish. Doesn't mean he's terrible. Not saying he's never achieved anything in football. It's just saying, actually,
so you said he's never won anything in his whole life.
Exactly. Who is he? Come to our dressing room. That's what it's like. You've got no fans. It's basically saying,
you what? You want some?
Yeah. You want some, mate? I'll give it you.
It's like that video back.
It's saying, isn't it, that actually it gives us an out. It gives us an opportunity to unpick what could be a really difficult situation for us. If the Saudi Pro League didn't exist in the way that they exist, we'd have Casemiro for 2 more years, and we'd be like, oh, who's going to come and pick that up? And the Saudi club's going to do it. So I think that's...
Flex said McTominay better than Casemiro. Confirmed, says Show.
Exactly. It's exactly what you said, Flex,
yes,
isn't it? By the way, we've got over 1,300 people watching, less than 300 likes. 500 is real this morning. It is a real possibility. There's still 25 minutes left of the show, and we're about just over halfway there to 500. So we can get those likes up as we talk about Christian Erikson. Bit of a drop-off this season, Flex. As Samuel Luckhurst says, he was indispensable last season, but now is the opposite. He has played 37 minutes in United's last 8 games, and the lack of rhythm was apparent when he emerged against Fulham. The 32-year-old is under contract until next year, but his skill set could still appeal to clubs of a certain profile.
Very true.
Movements from Turkish clubs in the winter transfer window, but it's not a stretch to imagine Erikson taking that well-trodden path from the Premier League. So Christian Erikson, with a year left on his contract, I don't actually think it's been spoken about enough. He's gone in the summer, most
100%.
likely. He's
100%.
gone.
Yeah, lucky, lucky not to go in January, really. Last year was indispensable because he was the only person who could pass the ball properly.
Still kind of is,
in it, and still kind of is in terms of a technical player. But he can't get around the pitch, and he deserves his props. In our first season, when we finished third and got a Carabao Cup, he was part of our best midfield. Him, Casemiro, and Bruno. And that was it's funny how things can change in 12 months, literally. How so many things can change. But we've seen, and for a player like Christian Erikson as well, that lack of rhythm, trying to just chuck him in here or there or get him to make an impact off the bench, and he's just not going to win the duels. He's not going to be physical enough. With the emergence of Kobbie Mainoo as well, it's just and
you won't get a lot. You won't get a lot for him.
No, you get peanuts for him. But that bit that Samuel Luckhurst says is really, really true about he would still appeal to clubs of a certain profile. Absolutely would. Someone like Christian Erikson with a midfield that has legs in it at a lower level. A decent level. I'm not saying like championship. I mean not trying to push for the Premier League level. He'll be absolutely fine. So so that's an easy one.
Yeah, I agree. Next, Sofian Amrabat. We don't have to take too long on this one. His future is but again, the paragraph's funny on this one. Amrabat's future is certain. It is a certainty United will decline the 20 million euro option to buy him. His return to Fiorentina lightens the midfield ahead of a probable incoming. Amrabat, he's not sticking around. We don't even have to spend any time on that one, Flex. It's just not happening.
I got it so wrong, man. I got it so wrong.
Scott McTominay. Now, this is an interesting one. An academy product and match-winning goal-getter who is approaching his peak years would ordinarily be worth keeping. Only academy sales represent a pure profit in this age of profitability and sustainability rules, and McTominay could fetch a pretty penny, especially if he excels for Scotland at the Euros. McTominay is a squad player with glaring technical limitations, and they were apparent at the Etihad on Sunday. As valuable as such selfless assets are, McTominay is a sellable asset.
I think that's really perfect, really, by Samuel Luckhurst, that one. I think that one's not scathing or anything. I think that is literally the facts about everything to do with Scott McTominay. He's a match-winning goal-getter, to be fair. He is. He has been this season, should I say. The PSR comes into it, 100% profit. He is a squad player, yes, with glaring technical limitations. Facts. And not just at the Etihad where we saw it. That's Scott McTominay, isn't it? And if he has a good Euros, price could go up and he could fetch a pretty penny. I agree with everything Samuel Luckhurst said there. So if the money came in, I would sell him. I would sell him.
I agree.
I think with everything that's going to change this window, I don't think he will go.
That's what I was going to say.
I think he'll be a squad player, which to come off the bench here and there to get a goal because we've bought someone better than Amrabat who's technically sound. We've let Erikson go. Someone's technically sound come in. You can afford to keep McTominay, but it's because he gets us so much money, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think I'm just seeing in the chat here. I think the majority, like 90% of people, are going sell, and I absolutely. Do I think he will be sold in the summer though? I think he might be a beneficiary of a lot going on. Yeah. That a lot of people are moving, a lot of people are leaving, and maybe he digs his heels in a little bit more. Year. I wouldn't be shocked with that. But like you said, if an offer came in like 30, 35 million, you go, that's 35 million of pure profit. That's not bad going. I mean, I think last summer they wanted 40, didn't they? I think from West Ham, and West Ham kind of scoffed at that and said no. So,
but what is good about Scott McTominay is the fact that when he if he is about the place, he's a good lad. And I know that sounds like, oh, so you're saying I'm just saying, if he is the beneficiary of what Owen says, like of a lot going on, if he's in the squad and like has to come in off the bench and stuff like that, he's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like he can have that role, because I'm just saying it as like Erikson leaves because he's going to go, so you get a good midfielder, like someone who's actually good who can take us forward. Amrabat's going to leave, so we need to get another one. So that's someone who's actually good. Like these two players that we're going to bring in are supposed to be really good, and the future that can help us close the gap. Then Kobe Mainoo keeps developing. Casemiro might get sold. So again, you've got to bring in, that's 3 central midfielders, all who need to be good. So if you've got Scott McTominay as a guy who's happy to be 4th or 5th choice, like he is now, and well, he's playing a lot more than that actually, but if he's happy to just be in the squad, he's going to be a good lad. He's going to train properly. Then you ask him to come on and put it about a bit and try and nick us a goal. He can stay another year, because we would have, hopefully we'll have, well, we won't get that many new midfielders actually. That's a lot. I'm just thinking of it, maybe 2.
Well, again, this is a bit like the centre back.
And Mason Mount to actually hopefully not be injured, and that's like a new signing.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Well, you have to remember, we signed Sofian Amrabat because we we're light in midfield.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It might be a case that, but I think we're both saying Sal, but we're both also saying that we think he might end up staying. Anthony Martial, again, it's not even worth really spending any time on, but like Samuel Lucas says, like with Amrabat, there is nothing uncertain about Martial's United career. It is certain to end in the summer. It should have ended years ago, is what he said. Anthony Martial's out of contract in the summer. He's going to go. That's just the facts of the situation. 250k a week is going to be off the books. Marcus Rashford was included on this list, and I'm sure that this won't be polarizing at all. He says, what to do with the enigmatic... screwed up the word flex. Enigmatic poster boy. Rashford has blown hot and cold in the past 4 years. He'd had his knuckles wrapped by the manager for partying after the Derby defeat and the Belfast bender, while there has been clear friction with matchgoers this season. After his night on the towers in Northern Ireland, 96% on the Red Issue Forum voted to sell Rashford, and the number is unlikely to have dwindled greatly. A potential dilemma is whether there would be a market for Rashford, as only a handful of clubs would be realistic takers. Paris Saint-Germain have established interests, and Rashford's agent and brother Dwayne met officials at the start of last season. Would you sell him in the summer, Flex? It's not even a case of, do we think this is going to happen, because Marcus Rashford isn't going to go in the summer. I'd be very surprised. But would you? Would you?
I've already said a few times that I would, right? But I'll be honest though, I want it to work for Rashford, man. I do. I do want it to. But I'm not convinced he's going to become the player that we need him to. And I just don't think he's going to be a top draw level player. I always think he's going to be hot and cold. I always think he's going to have moments where he's really good and moments where he's really bad. I think he's obviously made mistakes clearly, and he's not really gone about them in the right way with the way he's come across and stuff. So that hasn't helped. And it's sad that, academy graduate like Rashford who's supposed to be our Saka. You're in love with them. You just can't see them being anywhere else. They can finish their career. It's supposed to be our Trent. Oh, just this guy. Oh my God. Like, just this. Oh, he's just Mr. Man United, future captain. But it's just not turning out that way. So if the big money comes, he looks like he could do with a fresh challenge, which he's saying that he doesn't want, by the way. So this ain't going to happen. So if the money came in, I would say yes. If like 70 million came in, I would say yes.
Yeah, well, he's got pure profit.
Pure profit, but it is through gritted teeth, because I'll be honest, I'm not in the camp. I'm personally not in the camp of he's a fraud, mate. Get him out. Like, honestly, this guy, like, he thinks it. Oh, honestly, mate. No, I'm like, this is sad. Like, I am actually annoyed at this, because I want Rashford to be our guy. I want that guy. I know people can say, yeah, but now we've got Garnacho, now we've got Kobe, now we can. So what? F him. Like, people, I get that. But I wanted it to be Rashford, and it's not. But it is what it is. It's football, isn't it? So if he was to leave, I wouldn't be like, no, we're making a mistake. Why have we done that? I would take the money, but it's through gritted teeth.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to see what Andy Mitten said about him. We did he did the interview. He was on Stretford Paddock, wasn't he? And he was sort of saying about, he was outside the away end at Molineux, and he couldn't find one person that wanted Marcus Rashford to stay.
Crazy that,
and that's diehard away going match day Man United fans, and they'll stick with people through and through. And I thought that was really interesting. And he spoke about his changing his media team a few times and kind of like losing his own voice through PR and what have you. If an offer came in the summer from PSG and it was 70 million, I'd say it's best for all parties that they take it. I'd say it's best for Rashford to get out of the spotlight and go there, and best for United because financially it's an incredibly viable deal. But as we said, I don't think.
Do you think, Owen, and you guys in the chat? So you're saying it'd be best for both parties. What do you think INEOS will think of this? Because Sir Jim's on about all of this. Making new decisions. I just feel like, and look, this is kind of redundant because Rashford, he's made it clear he wants to stay here.
Yeah.
But I think if that money came in, would INEOS be like, yeah, that's pure profit? Let's go. I think Sir Jim's the sort of guy who would be like,
I don't think they would.
We need him to be this. Let's change the surroundings. Let's get him going. Like let's make him Mr. Man United, which could backfire because everyone's going to say, listen, this is the problem. But I just don't think INEOS would be 100% behind coming in and then making a massive thing like selling Marcus Rashford one of their priorities. And he doesn't want to go.
Yeah, I do think so. But it'll be interesting to see what they think about PR and all that kind of stuff. If they just want to get away from that, maybe that's where they'll go.
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving.
We've still got quite a few.
So let's pick it up. Let's pick up.
Anthony.
Sal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really need to read Samuel Luckhurst sing Sal. It's just a case of if they can. I think it's easy for us to say Sal, and I think everyone in the chat probably would say Sal. The problem is he's signed a contract 2 years ago. He's on a lot of money.
No, you do need to read the Samuel Luckhurst thing.
Okay. So Anthony's representative. Oh, this is quite funny. Anthony's representatives described his return to the starting 11 at Nottingham Forest last week as a quote standout performance. So stand out, he was dropped. His only goal and assist all season were at League Two Newport County. He is one-paced, one-dimensional, and has his one trick has been missing all season. Whether or not Ten Hag stays, Anthony cannot. The best case scenario for United, bar a Saudi club dumping sackfuls of notes on their table, is Anthony is loaned out for the season and his wages are covered in full.
Good. It's scathing. That's crazy though, isn't it? His representatives, like, how do they find
up?
So he just spoke to his agent. I tell you, he was good today.
Probably.
But that day against Forest, though, we did say he was probably unlucky to come off.
He did all right. But
like I said, so good that you're not starting to City, mate.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. So,
but yes, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Amari Forson, this is an interesting one because he's out of contract in the summer. So offer him a new contract, Amari Forson.
To be honest, I don't know how good he is. I don't know. He's out of contract in the summer, so
it's just a case of do we offer him a new? Is it a massive loss basically if he doesn't get offered a new contract?
I don't think it is really, and I'm not being disrespectful to the kids. I love it when listen. He was playing YouTube football a couple of years ago. He's playing for SC Dons. Like it's mental. Shout out SC Dons. So really proud of him. Really good. I want the kid to just make the best decision for him.
Do you think it's one of those ones where it's a little bit like maybe this explains why he's getting on the pitch recently because they're like, hey,
try and give you a new deal? Because I think there was some. Yeah, I did read some stuff that they're trying to give him a new deal. But I haven't seen enough of him to be like, listen, we're asking for trouble if we let this kid go because he's going to go to XYZ and be good. Yeah. And it's not like a buyback thing because he's going to go on a free. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't mind with that. If they give him a new deal and send him on loan, then fine. If not, then it is what it is.
Ahmad in the summer, he's been restricted to 3 substitute appearances since he recovered from a knee injury in late December. If this is an interesting thing, Lucas says, if Ten Hag is backed, then Ahmad might as well pack his bags.
Yeah, because you don't like him. Ten Hag don't like him. You don't rate him, does he? It depends on Ten Hag, isn't it, really? Because the new manager might really like Ahmad and we might unlock him and might actually see him get some games. Does he need another loan? How long's he got?
On loan. I don't know how many. I think he's got a couple of years left in his contract. I don't think is it a year left? Well, even if it is a year left, send him out on loan, see if you can agree something with him.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, I know the injury thing happened. That's what prevented that, obviously. Yeah. But I still thought in January, send him out on loan to a Premier League club this time, see what he can do. See what he can do.
Yeah, I'd loan him. If he's got, as long as he's not like, it's not free in the summer, I don't think. So I'd loan him.
Yeah. We got nearly 1,500 people watching, by the way. We are just under 150 likes away from 500. So
Come on,
keep
guys,
clicking that like button. For Kunde Palestri, he's gone to...
So I'm honestly big up for Kundo, big up his dad. For Kundo's career, go and find a permanent place now. Go play football.
Yeah.
You get I scored all the time. You played in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like by hardly paying for United. It just sell him.
I agree. It's one of those and again, this is when we do have to be careful with certain things because beginning of the season, why didn't he get a go? Why did he get a go? Gets a go and we go, oh, maybe.
Started 4 games in 4 years. Bloody hell.
Yeah. So for Kunde, I agree.
Yeah.
Go.
Third time in the Liga as well. Bloody hell. Just give him just let him stay there, man. Just let the kids stay there.
Donny van der Beek.
No point.
Well, Eintracht Frankfurt have an 11 million euro option to buy Van der Beek, who has not set the world alight across his 5 appearances. He only played 5 games. Yeah, he was back on the bench and unused at the weekend.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I forgot about Donny and to keep an eye on what he's actually doing. So it's been shit. It's been a shit time at Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Well, it doesn't matter. He's still got to come back here. We've got to tell him.
And he wasn't in their European squad as well.
Registered. Oh, man. No one rates this guy anymore. Donny, man, I hope he doesn't just
never
play proper football again.
Now that haven't worked out. Went to Everton,
surely he can go back to Ajax. Surely they'll take him back. Surely.
That's the only place he can go, really. At this
That's what
point.
I mean. But whatever happens, he's going to come back off loan because they're obviously not going to buy him for 11 million euros, are they? You come back, and however cheap it needs to be for him to get a permanent to somewhere, you got to just say yes. If it's 5 million, 8 million euros, whatever the hell it is.
But this is the thing too. It's going to have to be upon Donny to accept it because there were offers last summer and he didn't take them. There were offers on the table.
I don't think he's the sort of guy to go, well, I'm on this money, I'll just stay. You know, I do think
he didn't. I think there was where was he linked
injury.
To? He was linked to a club in France. Was it Lorient? He was linked to France. He went, no, I don't want to go there, mate. Yeah. You got to go.
But now he's got another loan, hasn't worked. He's going to want to play some.
But was this loan, and this is again, was this loan just a case of Euros are coming up in the summer? If I want to get myself into that squad and it hasn't worked out, then is it a case of, well, I've got nothing to play for now. So what am I going to do? Am I going to stick around?
He might I don't see who's going to buy him. He might have to. I don't know. How's he got long left? How long's he got left on his deal?
When did he sign? He signed 2020, didn't he?
He signed if
he signed a 5-year, he'd have a year left. I mean, the consensus is Sal. The consensus is Sal.
Oh, definitely can't be here, whatever that looks like.
Hannibal Medford. Now he made his debut for Sevilla in the win against Real Sociedad. It remains to be seen if he's going to be a breakthrough. They do have an option, 14 million plus £3 million in add-ons, but it's not been the best time for him out there.
Oh, we did play last week, and he won. Right, okay. So is that the breakthrough? Is that the start of it? Because he obviously he's had a horrible time since he's been there. Manager call him out and all that. Yeah. Is that attitude or whatever it is that the problem was? Has he sorted it? If he plays, I hope he plays now to the end of the season. If we could get 15 million plus 3 million add-ons for Hannibal, that would be
yeah, and that is pure profit again. So I agree.
So definitely sell.
Sell on that one. Jadon Sancho. Lucas says Sancho should go if Ten Hag stays or goes after he publicly accused the United manager of lying. Borussia Dortmund do not have the option to re-sign Sancho permanently, but his description of the club as home makes a compromise fee possible. It is in all parties' interest to settle on an accord. So, Sal, or is there any way back for him at Manchester United?
I don't think there is.
Regardless of Ten Hag's future.
Yeah, regardless of Ten Hag's future. Sellable asset can fetch a lot of money as well. Well, 40 odd, I think. His stock's not going up, is it? Let's be honest, it's really not. So that's why I was always saying that 50 and all that. I just can't see it. But you never know, though. If there is a new manager, maybe Sir Jim could say, "Listen, I spoke to Jadon. You know, the same how we kept the Mason Greenwood thing open." You never know.
I think that's a really dangerous road for Ratcliffe to go down if he starts dictating. It's my decision to.
No, but the new manager might want him.
That's true.
What if Julian Nagelsmann
what do you think the relationship
says? Listen, I tell you what, he's a good footballer. I need that type of player.
What do you think the relationship will be with the fans if he comes back with that?
I think as fans, yes. Like KG said, no, I don't care because you left us in our bad moment. As fans, I'm not going to lie to you. We forget things quickly.
I think there will be hostility, though.
There will be. There will be. But if there's a new manager where it's so new that this thing's just such a new breath of fresh air, it's all new, let's say De Zerbi walks through the door, or bloody Potter or Nagelsmann or whoever it is, walks in the door, and they really want Jadon Sancho. They say, listen, I don't know how someone don't want this kid. I want to work with him. I'm excited. I want to work with him. There's a place for him in my team on the right. That's who I want starting. I want to work with him.
I just think that it's best interest of everyone, even regardless of what happens with Ten Hag, that they need to draw a line in the sand and go, like, there's just enough of this drama. You know what I mean? There's enough of this drama. Because I just think also if he came back and even Ten Hag wasn't here, they were almost waiting for him to do something negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
be like, I think it's best parties for just to cut bait, move on. Yeah. And like I said, raise funds.
I would take the money. I would personally take the money. I agree, Sal. I just think there could be a situation where, like you said, not Sir Jim dictating, the new manager coming in saying, so who have I got? And him going, I actually really like Sancho. Tried to sign him when I was at bloody extra. I really want him. You never know. Funnier things have happened in football. But I agree. I would say.
Last two here, Mason Greenwood. Now, of course, Mason Greenwood, they said that a decision is going to be made come the summer. I guess, what's your prediction as to what's going to happen with that? Or is that one still up in the air?
I don't know. I thought he was done.
I still think he'll go. The reason I say I think he'll go, I think that Jim Ratcliffe was being purely negotiable in what he said. And because The Athletic wrote a really interesting piece on this, basically saying that Greenwood likes it in Spain. He's happy there. The scrutiny, of course, is a fraction of what it would be if he was back in England. And basically, I think Jim Ratcliffe's just trying to have a bit of leverage with whoever he negotiates with, because it's very difficult to negotiate with a club where you've already drawn a line in the sand saying this guy's never coming back. If there's at least the option that he could possibly come back, then you can negotiate a bit of a higher price, and it still does count as pure profit. So I think he's still going to go. I think it's just a case of INEOS just trying to strengthen their hand a little bit in this one.
I think he'll leave. And also, it's like, if you keep him, you're giving the new manager and this new look Man United a lot to deal with straight away. Because if he stays, you're going to have to answer a lot of stuff.
Again,
there's going to be a lot of heat.
He might.
And exactly. I don't think he would want to. Because think about it. Like, for him to come back to this country, he better be prepared.
It's another level. Yeah, exactly.
He better be prepared. And he's happy with his family, his kid and his missus. So out there in a quiet life or whatever, if you want to come back here, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff going on. So
yeah,
so I think he'd go. Yeah, and that's again pure profit.
Yeah, and finally, KG's favorite player, Brandon Williams. Now, I didn't realize this. He's not appeared in an Ipswich matchday squad this calendar year. He's likely to be released. I don't know. He's going to be released in the summer. His contract expires, so it's not really. He's going to go anyway. And he's got a big contract, by the way, for someone of his quality. He's got a big contract. But I didn't even realize he hadn't been playing for Ipswich this calendar year.
They're having a good season.
A very good season. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's no point talking about him.
Exactly. But they are all the players, Flex. They are all the players.
Whole show.
Get through. Look at that.
Everyone enjoyed it as well. What show, guys? We're at 390 likes. It's the end of the show nearly, pretty much. I'm going to read out the super chats. While I read out the super chats, let's get way past 400. Let's 500, guys. 500. Come on.
Easy.
You can do it.
Nearly 1,600 people watching. Easy.
Exactly. So let's do it. Let's get to 500 likes while we read out the rest. There's only a couple of super chats here. McIfer says, Erik Ten Hag's rep is done. He won't attract decent players. And WJ Barrett says, we keep Rashford and the casualty will be Bruno. We didn't put Bruno in that, mate?
Bruno wasn't in that list, no.
Is that because Samuel Luckers just thought like he's not viable?
Yeah, I guess he's not even putting him in the list. That was Samuel Luckers' list.
Oh, yeah, it was his list, isn't it? Who else weren't in that? Obviously, Kobe Mainoo, Garnacho, Rasmus.
Most were. I think you could say maybe Bruno. I suppose if you're
Dalot, he didn't put Dalot in there because he knows Dalot.
I suppose if you're going to
he didn't put Luke Shaw in there.
That's true. I suppose if you're going to include Rashford, you should include Bruno.
Yeah, but that's Samuel Luckers, isn't it?
That's where some of the biases start sort of creeping in.
Yeah, I mean Onana.
Although he's not the biggest Bruno fan, he's not.
He's quite scathing towards him, so I'm surprised he hasn't. Mason Mount, leave Mason Mount alone, man. Leave Mason Mount alone. I got big hopes for Mason Mount next year. Do you know what? I might do the shameless thing. I might start Player FC next year anyway. If everything changes,
like you can't do that.
Nah, just because everyone. Well, okay, I'm not going to do that. But
Actually, to be fair, what do you mean start? You've been calling Varan the Ghost, the Wraith, the Phantom. You've been
no, but that's because he is though. That's just because he is. That's
on this channel. On this channel, you've been chasing around a Rolls Royce just because you like Varan. Got nothing to do with Raphael Varan. There's a video of you with a microphone going, guys, the Ghost, the Wraith, the Phantom.
Yeah, because he's just my favorite, man. He's my favorite. Even when I saw him, I gave him a hug, man. He hugged me. He's my guy, man.
That explains his injury record then, doesn't it?
Before he goes, I'll have to get him to sign a shirt for United View, specifically to United View. I've done that a lot. I've got a lot of shirts signed, and I never get some because the players are not. Yeah. That's why. But the Ghost of Wraith, because he might actually leave. I need to get that. That'll hurt. When am I next going Carrington? Never know. All right. Yes. Flex is a sellout. Confirmed. End the channel.
Yeah.
Now, no more Player FC, but I honestly do think Mason Mount.
This is a good one. Minna says, who's going to cry more? Flex when Varan leaves or Marcel when Erik ten Hag leaves?
Or definitely Marcel.
Marcel has said that he'll cry. You missed that on the full view.
Did he say that?
He said he'd cry for a day, then to be excited for De Zerbi. He also said, Marcel was on another level on Sunday. It's Monday rather. He said, I want to make sure I get this right. So if I get this wrong in the chat, correct me. But he said something like, "I'm willing to cheat on Ten Hag with De Zerbi."
Oh, that's what he said. It's just ridiculous.
That's what that is what he said.
So he really likes De Zerbi then. He wants De Zerbi basically. If it's not going to be, he's happy with that. He wants.
But there's there's weird justification of it going. I still love Erik, but I'm willing to cheat.
Yeah, Antenna says there, love Marcel. You have to. And Minna says yes. He said that. LOL. It is the curious case of Marcel. This is why we love him. It is Marcel. Guys, we're at 452 likes. So as we are saying goodbyes, as we're letting you know what's coming up for the rest of the week / the rest of the day, please do smash like on the video to get us to 500 likes. For the rest of the day, we have got the What the Devil podcast with the guys from United District. That is later on today. I'll be on that, so check that out at 6 p.m. Might be a little bit of a video in the middle as well for today, around about the afternoon time. So watch out for that. Of course, it's the lead up to the Everton game as well. We probably should actually. Anyway, I forgot about that. And yes, the lead up to the Everton game, can't afford to lose. Whatever's left of our season, we need to make it somewhat decent. So yes, please smash a like on the video on the way out. We're at 465. Let's get to 500. Like, and we'll see you on the next video very, very soon. Take care, guys. Wicked show. Peace.